Hi everyone, I am Candice and I am assigned to share with you subliminal communication. We will answer the question, do subliminal messages work? So in this lesson, we will be learning on what are subliminal messages, how it works, and discover its history. Let's get started. So subliminal messages are defined as signals below the absolute threshold level, or we call it ATL, of our conscious awareness. The word subliminal literally means below threshold. So the first thing we need to understand is that we cannot become consciously aware of subliminal stimuli even if we look for it. Absolute threshold is defined as the lowest level of stimulus we can detect, but be it visual, auditory, or sensory. So when an external stimuli falls below ATL, it cannot be detected consciously. The second thing we need to understand is that subliminal perception is believed to be a result of a deliberately designed communication technique aimed at generating a response so that people will do things they wouldn't ordinarily do. In short, both the perception and reaction to subliminal messages happen at the subconscious level. Why is it important to clearly define these two attributes? Because many prevailing conspiracy theories aren't even finding the correct cases to attack. Instead, many confuse subliminal with supraliminal. Let's move forward. So, what is the difference between supraliminal and subliminal? Supra Supraliminal is the opposite of subliminal. While both evoke neural responses and consequently influence our behavior, supraliminal stimuli can be perceived by the conscious mind. One example that illustrates how supraliminal stimuli influence our behavior through conscious perception is the German wine and French wine experiment. In an experiment conducted in a British supermarket, a selection of German and French wines of the same price and sweetness were displayed. The store then displayed German and French music on alternate days. What happened next is intriguing. Sales of German wine increased on days when German music was played, and the same occurred with French wine when French music was played. In this example, the stimuli in store music is supraliminal because it can be perceived consciously. Interestingly, even though the consumers in this case could hear in-store music, very few of them reported music as a main factor in their choice of wine. Needless to say, supraliminal messages work best when we don't notice them. So let us move forward. Our mind consists of two interest, interacting parts, the conscious and the subconscious. So our conscious mind gives us executive control of our mind. With consciousness, we think, judge, feel, and experience with awareness. So this is actually popularized by Freud. The term subconscious refers to the part of our mind that operates below the level of consciousness awareness. Think of it as a secret hiding place for our desires, motives, and past experiences that exist outside of our conscious awareness. What's really fascinating is that our subconscious behavior is always an autopilot. Our subconsciousness is more powerful than consciousness when it comes to processing information. Subconsciousness is able to process 20,000 bits of information simultaneously, while consciousness can deal only with 7 bits of information at the same time. Now let's delve deeper into these subliminal sensory stimuli. Modern science has discovered 37 known sensory inputs across 7 broad categories. We have visual, auditory, tactile, olfactory or taste, gustatory, smell, vestibular, balance and movement, and proprioception or body awareness. Among them, the visual category dominates our perception. To our knowledge, subliminal messages target 2 senses, visual and auditory. Under each category, there are several techniques. So, there are actually 2 varieties of subliminal messages, visual messages. So, we have subvisual cues and embeds. So, when we talk about subvisual cues, they are displayed rapidly, typically for just a few milliseconds, making them imperceptible to viewers. Embeds, however, are usually static images embedded in an unchanging visual environment, hiding in our plain sight, so they can often be seen in print advertisements. So there are actually 2 types of, now we go to auditory subliminal messages. There are 2 types. We have subaudible and backmasking. So subaudible are low volume messages inserted into louder audio files so that they cannot be heard. Backmasking, on the other hand, is a video message recorded backwards so that the original message is disguised when playing it forward. So, how do subliminal messages influence our behavior? One theory proposes that subliminal visual and auditory priming can work to spread activation in your semantic network. So we all have semantically related webs of concepts in our brain, like what you have seen here. Every concept exists with a network of interconnected nodes of concepts. Like, for example, Apple, the iconic technology brand, as an example. When prompting Apple, we think of Steve Jobs, computers, creativity, minimalist design, etc. In a 2000 experiment, subjects were exposed to 30 milliseconds of the Apple logo, which triggered the association with creativity. As a result, the subjects were able to come up with significantly more creative solutions than those who were exposed to the IBM logo. This is a powerful example of how visual priming can activate our semantic network without our awareness. So here is a brief history of subliminal messages over the years. So it started in 1956 down to 2008. So below we walk through a brief history of subliminal messages, message experiments, and discoveries. Some of the events later proved to be hoaxes, such as the James Vickery Eat Popcorn experiment. But the controversies sparked decades of solid academic research on the subject, such as the Lipton Ice Brand Choice experiment by Johann Karimatz and Wolfgang Strobe. So, as a conclusion to my report, subliminal messages can give consumers that extra push towards choosing a certain product or brand, regardless of the messaging. But brand equity is built on trust and transparency. Losing consumers' trust is far more costly for brands than the short-term gains derived from subliminal manipulation. Thank you everyone for listening. Have a good day.